Hello everyone and welcome back to Pokemon Omega Ruby. Last time around we went through Route 121 and got to Lily Cove City, and today I decided to go to the Safari Zone on Route 121. Now the Safari Zone has changed quite a bit since Ruby, Sapphire and Emerald. Now I will go with those changes eventually when we go into the Safari Zone, but first off I want to show you a map of the Safari Zone. Now it's divided into 4 different sections here, and you can see the entrance is going to be in the southeast corner of the Safari Zone, and you can see all the different items that you're going to be able to get here, and there's also 1 Mega Evolution Stone in the Safari Zone, so just keep that in mind. And as I mentioned earlier, there is a few different changes to the Safari Zone compared to the original. Now, the layout of the Safari Zone is completely different. It doesn't look anything like it did in the original. And also, it's really nothing that special in terms of like previous Safari Zones, where there was like you could throw bait, you could throw rocks at the Pokemon, you couldn't use your own Pokemon, but here it's just nothing that special. You could use your own Pokemon in this place, and I just don't really feel that it's anything that special. It's just an area, I guess, where the Safari Keepers, I guess, or it is a retreat where Pokemon can just roam free, I guess. But other than that, the mechanics are nothing different compared to the other areas. But anyway, I'm going to go over some of the new, well, all the new Pokemon that you'll be able to find in this area. First off, we got Pikachu. I know we've gotten a Pikachu earlier on in our adventure, but it was a special Pikachu that you couldn't breed and you couldn't evolve. So I'm just going to go over Pikachu right now. Now, Pikachu is just one of these mascot of Pokemon. I think everyone knows about Pikachu. And if Pikachu holds a light ball, its special attack and attack will be doubled. So it actually becomes a pretty viable Pokemon to use. And if you do decide to breed it, you could get Pichu. Now, Pichu is just a generic baby Pokemon. It doesn't really have anything that special at all. But if you do decide to breed it with a Pikachu, make sure to make it hold a light ball, because Pichu will then learn Volt Tackle, one of the most powerful physical electric type moves in the entire game. And you could evolve Pichu by leveling it up when it has maximum happiness. And if you do decide to evolve Pikachu using a Thunderstone, you will get Raichu. Now, Raichu is actually a pretty decent special attacker. Well, it's a pretty decent Pokemon overall. It's got 110 base speed, which makes it quicker than Manectric, but its attack stats are lower than Manectric, unfortunately. Well, its special attack stat is lower at least, so it's more of a mixed attacker compared to Manectric being a full-on special attacker. And I think I would recommend Manectric a little bit more actually because of its Mega Evolution. But other than that, Raichu, I guess it's a viable option. I mean, it's not terrible. I used one back in my Pokemon Blue playthrough a little while ago. Next new Pokemon that you'll be able to find here is going to be Dodo. Now, Dodo is actually a really viable normal flying type Pokemon. I don't really like a lot of these normal flying types because they just seem so generic and doesn't really have any outstanding stats, but Dodo is actually pretty good. When it evolves into Dodrio at level 31, it gets a 110 base attack and 100 base speed, so it's really quick, and it's able to hit you with a pretty strong physical attack stat. And I would actually recommend it if you're looking for a flying type. I used one back in my one of my Pokemon Emerald Let's Plays, so I know it's a pretty viable option, I must say. And the next new Pokemon that we'll be able to find in this area is going to be Psyduck. Now, Psyduck is a pure water type. I found it always kind of strange that it isn't water psychic types, since the anime made us kind of think that it was a psychic type. But anyway, when Psyduck evolves into Golduck at level 33, it becomes, I guess, a decent enough special attacker. But in my opinion, there are way more better water type Pokemon in this game. For example, I like Milotic more, I like Sharpedo more, so I think there's better water type Pokemon in this game. It's not terrible by any means, because I used one back in my Pokemon Platinum, one of my Pokemon Platinum Let's Plays a while ago, so it's not terrible, but it's nothing really that special. And the last new Pokemon we're able to find in this area is going to be Girafarig. Now Girafarig you can only find in the tall grass. And Girafarig isn't really that good of a Pokemon, its stats isn't really that impressive. It has an interesting typing, being Psychic Normal type, but other than that, I don't think Girafarig really looks that great, unfortunately. So anyway, I know there's a lot of new Pokemon here, and there's a lot of bias to go over right now, so just bear with me here. We can use the acrobat down here in the southeast corner of the map and just do a little bit of jumping. And actually we enter a new area right here, the northeast corner, and there's two new Pokemon we're able to find here. First off, we got Donphan, but I'll go over his pre-evolution first, and that is going to be Phanpy. Oh my god, I found a Phanpy! But anyway, Phanpy isn't really that special, but when it evolves into Donphan, it actually becomes a really good physical attacker with some massive defense stat too. So I would actually recommend if you're looking to pick up a ground type. Unfortunately, there's going to be we're going to encounter a lot of water types in the future, so just keep that in mind if you want to pick yourself up a Donphan. Now, right now, we're actually in the southwest corner of the map, but there's still one new Pokemon that we're able to find in the northeast corner, and that is going to be Pinsir. Now, Pinsir has a fantastic attack stat and very good defense too. I don't find a lot of people using Pinsir, but it looks very good. And Pinsir actually gets a Mega Evolution, so that's another thing going for Pinsir. So I would actually recommend, if you're looking for a bug type that not a whole lot of people use, I recommend it to pick yourself up a Pinsir. Now, as you could see over there was an item that we actually can't obtain. Even though we need the Acrobite to get in this area, we still need a Machbite, and I still haven't figured out how to actually like get them both at the same time. I don't know if there's like an after game thing, but that's an item we can't obtain quite yet. Now, I just want to go over a thing that is a reoccurring thing here in the Safari Zone. Now, there's a few Pokemon that you'll be able to find in the grass in every single one of these 4 areas. That is Gloom, Doodoo, and Psyduck. Now, there's also different Pokemon that appear in hordes. For example, Oddish, Doodoo, and Psyduck will appear in hordes throughout the entire Safari Zone. And you can also find the exact same Pokemon in the surfing and fishing spots. But anyway, we can jump over here and run into a wild Pokemon, of course. And if you haven't noticed already, I'm pretty sure that you noticed, is that this entire portion is post-commentary. And this area is just a dead end. There's really nothing here for us to pick up, unfortunately, because we can't actually go through the tracks right here. So anyway, I'm going to have to backtrack and access the southwest corner of the Safari Zone, so be right back. Alright, moving right along, I went back to the Mobile City and got myself the Machbike, so I'll be able to access this new area right here. Well, a part of the new area here in the southwest corner of Safari Zone. And the first and only new Pokemon we're able to find here is going to be Xatu, but I'll go over its pre-evolution first. And that is going to be Natu. Now, Natu doesn't really look that special, unfortunately. When it evolves into Xatu at level 25, which is of course the Pokemon that you can find here, it doesn't really become that special. It only gets a base special attack of 95 and a base speed of 95. So it doesn't have any stats that are really outstanding, so I wouldn't really recommend that you pick yourself up a Xatu, unfortunately. But anyway, moving right along here, we can head up here, and there's an item waiting for us right here. And that is going to be a big pearl! Hooray for big pearls! But anyway, we're actually back here at the northeast corner of the map right here. And we can't go any further there, unfortunately. But anyway, moving on to the northwest corner of the map right here. There is 2 new Pokemon we're able to find there, but I'm only going to be going over one right now, and that's going to be Rhyhorn. Now, Rhyhorn is actually a pretty decent enough Pokemon. It's rather slow, unfortunately, but it got really good attack and really good defensive stats. Unfortunately, its special defense is really low, and its 4 times weak against grass and water types, so unfortunately, not really the best in terms of taking water hits now when there's a lot of water type Pokemon coming up. It evolves at level 42 into Rhydon, and Rhydon is actually a pretty good Pokemon. Unfortunately, the environment doesn't suit it, you know, when the last part of the game is all water pretty much. So unfortunately, I wouldn't really recommend it to pick one of these stuff, even though it's got great attack, great defense, but its special defense is really poor and speed is really poor, so I wouldn't really recommend it to pick one up. But if you do, however, pick one up and you trade it while holding a protector, it will evolve into Rhyperior, which gets a massive 140 base attack and 130 base defense, with some good HP too. So, I mean, I'm not saying it's a terrible Pokemon to use, but in the environment that is here in Hoenn, it's unfortunately nothing really that fantastic. But anyway, I'm going to have to go back to Marvel City and grab myself the Acrobike to access some of the other parts here in the northwest corner that I couldn't get to before. So anyway, back now with the Acrobike, and as you can see, if you head all the way to the left, you can just jump over here, right along this pathway, and at the end here, there is going to be a Mega Evolution Stone waiting for you, and that is going to be the Absolite. So this means it's obviously for Absol. Now, Mega Absol has some ridiculous stats. It's got base 150 attack, 115 special attacks, actually becomes a rather viable mixed attacker in some way, and it also gets 115 base speed. This was one of the main reasons why I want to pick up an Absol, because its Mega Evolution looks so good. It also gets the ability Magic Bounce, which means any non-attacking moves will bounce back at the opponent. So it looks really good. So that was the main reason why I want to pick up an Absol. But anyway, as I mentioned in the last episode, I was a little bit between a rock and a hard place, because I didn't know if I wanted to keep Absol and pick up another Pokemon. So I haven't actually quite decided yet, but the Pokemon I've been thinking of is actually going to be in this part of the northwest corner of the map, and it's not going to be Gloom as you might think. No, but it's going to be some other kind of Pokemon that I used in one of my previous playthroughs, and that is going to be Heracross. Now, Heracross is a fantastic physical attacker. It's got some decent special defense to it. It's almost the same as Pinsir, but it kind of switch around its defense and special defense, and it's a bug fighting type instead. So very interesting typing, and it gets some really good moves. It gets some moves like Mega Horn, like Close Combat. So, I mean, Heracross is a very good Pokemon. You'll also be able to get a Mega Evolution Stone for it in the main story, so that is also one of the reasons why I highly recommend you pick up a Heracross. I really like it. It's one of my favorite Pokemon from the second generation, but I don't know if I want to replace it with Absol. As I've said, I've been between a rock and a hard place for a little bit of a while now, and I wanted to wait till release this video until I recorded anything more so I could get some of your feedback too. I know I got at least one comment, and that basically said do whatever you want, so that's I don't know, but the fact that Mega Absol looks so amazing makes me think that I might want to keep it. And the fact that I've used Heracross before, but I haven't used Absol before is also one thing. But I don't know, as I said, Heracross is one of my favorite Pokemon from the second generation, probably one of my favorite Pokemon of all time. So yeah, anyway, we're going to catch Heracross right here and make that very hard decision. But here we go, Heracross! Unfortunately, Heracross charges in a straight line at its foe, slips beneath the foe's grasp, then scoops up and hurls the opponent with his mighty horn. The Pokemon even has enough power to topple a massive tree! And then, okay, okie dokie then. But anyway, as I was about to mention, unfortunately, there's only 6 Pokemon in your party, and wish we could have some more in just one party. I mean, it's been 6 Pokemon since Generation 1, and they've stuck with it. I guess it's the most balanced option, you know. But anyway, it would be pretty interesting what would happen if the party size would be increased to like 8. That would definitely shake things up in the competitive environment. I don't know if it would be a good idea, but it would definitely be an interesting idea to have something like that, because in regular playthroughs that I've done, I just like to keep a team of 6 Pokemon. But anyway, I went back and got the Mach Bike because there was an area up here in the northeast corner of the Safari Zone that I actually completely forgot to go to. Here with the water, I don't know how I missed this. I mean, I guess I was in such a concentration mood because there was a lot of things to go over here in the Safari Zone, and I got really confused at times. And anyway, here is another item that I believe we can't access quite yet because we need the Acrobike to get over there. It's my job to go about checking up on the health of all the Pokemon. Having so many Pokemon together in one area means we have to be extra careful of the spread of illness. That reminds me of Jurassic Park Operation Genesis, when it was like diseases going all over your dinosaurs and everything would just go downhill whenever one dinosaur got a disease or something like that. But anyway, we're going to surf here because there's a TM waiting for us here, and that is going to be TM 22. Sorry about that. Solar Beam. So it's a very good grass type move. If your Pokemon could learn Sunny Day, I mean, Solar Beam will then be able to hit immediately because usually you need to charge it up before you use it. But anyway, we are now completely done with the Safari Zone except for the 2 items that I don't believe we're going to be able to access quite yet. But finally, we are done. And yeah, I decided to do this post commentary because normally this video would probably be close to half an hour because it was really confusing, or the Safari Zone was rather confusing in my opinion, and things would just be easier if I just post commentated everything, so I got with everything I wanted to talk about. But anyway, at this point in the video I actually said this video is probably going to be a nightmare to edit, and past me was completely right. It definitely took a while to edit, to make all the bios, cut the entire video. But anyway, that is going to be the end of the video. Next time around, we're going to be checking out Lily Cove City, going back to live commentary and doing things like we usually do. Not with any new Pokemon, I don't think. But anyway, thank you very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. I will see you guys next time. Goodbye.